диагональю.
Электронные имитации блокировки.
Диагональное вывешивание.
Имитация блокировок, диагональное вывешивание, электронная имитация блокировок. Для имитации диагонального вывешивания. При диагональном вывешивании, диагонального вывешивания, диагональное вывешивание, диагонального вывешивания.
Имитация межколесной блокировки.
Доброе утро, дорогие товарищи.
Good morning, dear comrades. Today we are going to have a test. You might have probably seen a large number of crossover cross-country tests. For sure, each of them had a test to overcome the diagonal suspension with the help of interwheel lock imitation. This is due to the lack of any other off-road assistance provided for the most of crossovers. Such a great attention is paid to electronic diff-lock imitations that the new generation of drivers has already grown, who are confident that the rough terrain performance depends on such devices only, and the imitations themselves are a kind of cure for all diseases. Let's see what is more effective, a set of electronic diff-lock imitations or just a mechanical real blocking of the center differential, and we will check it in real conditions. And we keep in mind that in relation to crossovers, we consider the quality of the mechanism of the viscous coupling unit. The off-road performance depends a lot on other factors as well, but all other technical specifications, no less important, will remain behind the scenes today. Please note that I have nothing against electronic lock imitations. It's a real thing, a great invention that really improves cross-country ability, in case all other conditions are equal. But only with other conditions being equal, which usually happens in fairy tales and doesn't happen in real life. The first attempt to perform the test ended in failure, but a clear picture was obtained. Being outside the city, we drove to the field to see if it was suitable for the test. Actually, it wasn't. There was very little snow, so we just left a track behind us and drove back, where we met Grand Cherokee captured in that track with our neighbor behind the wheel. More precisely, he was pulled from a track to the side where he got successfully stuck. By the way, the electronic assistance worked great in Grand Cherokee. Ground clearance is 2 mm or 1/13 inch more than in Prado. Nevertheless, I passed this place without any problem, and he got stuck, cheerfully spinning with all 4 wheels. Naturally, we pulled out the Cherokee. Then, for the sake of interest, I drove into the place where it was stopped there, and quite calmly started off, without blocking, imitations, or using any other off-road functions of the car that improve our life in Russia. It turns out that imitation is not a panacea. The illustration is so clear that we could finish our video at this point, but this is not our method. So we'll nevertheless find out what works better under otherwise equal conditions: electronic diff-lock imitations or mechanical blocking. Before proceeding to the test, I note that in most mass-market crossovers, electronic imitations of cross-wheel locks work so-so. Usually, everything looks as follows. The car hangs out, the driver presses the pedal, the hung wheel rotates in the air for some time, as if it were a wind turbine rotor under stormy weather. Then the car brain realizes that something goes wrong, locks the rotating wheel with brakes, and the car starts to move. Or it does not start. In real life, in deep snow or in sand, for example, this behavior means burying the suspended wheels, followed by landing on the belly, and the driver's journey on foot to find the nearest tractor. Imitation algorithms have been improving over the years, becoming better, but in most cases they are still far from ideal. In Prado, which will become an object of the second part of the test, the electronics works in general not bad, without these GGG specials and air ventilation by wheels. Now let's move on to the test. We will find out what is more useful in real life on snow: electronic imitations of interwheel locks or mechanical locking of the center differential. Yes, I understand that imitations perform an effect of interwheel blocking, while the mechanics block the center differential. So the effect is interaxial, not interwheel. I understand this perfectly, and this in fact is the essence. And I also understand, of course, that there is usually neither a center differential nor the locking system in crossovers, but there is a viscous coupling unit that performs the same function. Functionally, it's needed for the same. Hope I haven't broken anybody's ideal vision of the world. We enter the snowfield and drive along it at minimal speed till the car moves. When it stops moving on, we turn off the traction control or imitation locks, turn on the mechanical lock and try to continue driving. If it works out, it seems like we can already conclude that there is more use from mechanical blocking. So, if it works out, we drive a little bit, stop, turn off the mechanical lock, turn the traction control back on and try to drive again. If we succeed this time, that will mean that the systems are more or less interchangeable.
пытаемся снова
At
ехать.
the time of the shooting, the snow was wet, but it was not enough. So the ride took place with the wheels turned, in order to at least somehow complicate the task for the car. In a couple of places there are freeze frames on a cabin camera. Please forgive me for this and for this mysterious character of the cam. Let's see what's happened.
Давайте смотреть, что получилось.
The traction control is on. Now I turned it off and on again. Mechanical locks are off. We put the first gear and try to ride in the snow with the traction control on.
Ставим первую передачу и пытаемся ехать в снег с трекшеном.
Driving, driving, driving. Driving without a problem, because this winter the snow supply service works bad.
Потому что снега, мало.
Oops! We have stopped.
Едем.
Now I turn on the mechanical lock and turn off the traction control.
Выключаем трекшн
And try to drive now.
и пытаемся ехать.
And we calmly driving.
Спокойно едем. Теперь ради интереса
Now, for the sake of interest, we do the opposite procedure. Turn off the diff-lock, turn on the traction control and see what happens.
смотрим, что получается.
And we can't even move from the place. We can't even start.
Тронуться с места. Тут, наверное, надо было
Here probably it would be necessary to draw some conclusions, but I don't see the point. You yourself have seen everything perfectly. Write comments about what you think about what you've seen. If you don't think anything, write about how a bespectacled man can't ride in the snow while anyone there would go through and see them, and whatever else you like. Subscribe not to get stuck. Good night. Driving, driving, driving. That's it. We're not moving. The car has stopped. At this point, we turn off the traction control and turn on the center lock.
И включаем межосевую блокировку.
Turn down the center lock, trying to move on.
Блокировку, пытаемся ехать дальше.
And we're not going anywhere.
Едем.